Hey guys, it's me Suja over here. Welcome back to another video. So on this video, I'm going to be talking about what's it like working in Vietnam as an English teacher. So if you're new to my channel, the name of my channel is called as Suja in Vietnam. I've been living over here in Vietnam for over 7 years. I was an English teacher before for over 4 years, and then I started my online business, and I'm also a full-time YouTuber. So if you're new to my channel, welcome to my channel. And if you have not yet subscribed to my channel, it takes less than 2 seconds. So just hit the subscribe button. That way you can support my work. So yeah, I keep on getting a lot of questions from on the comment section below. Let me just have a bit of my coffee. So I keep on getting a lot of questions on the comment section below because I have made previously I have done a few teaching videos, like how to get a teaching job out here in Vietnam. So I thought of making this video about what's it like working in Vietnam as an English teacher. So I'm going to be talking from my personal experience. So this is not going to be a textbook kind of video. So I'm going to be just sharing my personal experience, and then later today I will be also sharing you a checklist on how you can actually get a English teaching job out here in Vietnam, even if you're a non-native teacher, even if you're a non-native person. But of course, having the right qualifications and everything, like having a bachelor's degree and everything. So I'm going to give you that checklist. I think that's going to be very handy for you. So yeah, so let's just talk about what's it like being an English teacher out here in Vietnam. Working as an English teacher. So like that I've been teaching English out here for 4 years here in Vietnam, and also I used to run my private tutoring teaching business, which is called as Learn English Vietnam. But for this video, I'm going to be sticking with my experience of teaching public schools here in Vietnam. So I came out here in Vietnam, I believe, December 2015. I did my 4 weeks of intensive TESOL program, and then of course I had to wait a bit for getting recruited. I had to wait for a month, I believe, to get a teaching job with a public school here in Ho Chi Minh City, and that was at Go Bap district. So yes, like if you just got an English teaching job out here in Vietnam, say if you're going to be teaching public schools, the public schools over here usually they open quite early in the morning. I mean, for like you should if you're taking your first class, you may have your first class around 7:30 in the morning. So I would usually wake up around 5:30 in the morning, uh, take my shower, do my morning stuff, and just I would just hydrate myself, or just keep a kind of a granola bar or something, and eat that, and of course head off straight to the school. Okay, so just a quick tip over here. You should always be 5 minutes early before your class starts. So make it a point. Don't be late, because like the school, they do monitor. They do have these invigilators walking around the school campuses. So they actually take note. Like if a foreign teacher is arriving like 5 minutes late or something, and that can also kind of affect your salary a bit. So a rule of thumb over here is come to class 5 minutes before you start teaching, right? So that it gives you ample amount of time to set up your laptop, your teaching materials and everything. So yeah, I mean that's what I would be doing. So usually I may be taking two classes in the morning, so like maybe 7:30. So like each class would be around, I think, 45 minutes. And then of course in between, and then after that I would be rushing off to another class, but there would be some kind of I believe a kind of 5 minutes break in between. so that it gives you time to to go up or down the floors, because usually the public schools over here in Vietnam, they're pretty big, and like they have these numbers on top of the classroom, like usually in blue color, like A21 or B something like that. So in case if you're lost, just ask some students, and just tell them where. If you're a new teacher, if you're lost, just ask the student, like take your smartphone and just show the timetable. Tell them that I want to go to this classroom, so they can assist you with that. Specifically, you do get your roster like a week before you start teaching. So like if your school provides you, or your or like the educational company, like usually they have tie-ups with many public schools, so they keep on sending you to different public schools. Because I used to work with an educational company, and so they had a lot of tie-ups with different public schools. So I would be getting my schedule a week before the classes, and of course, it's very important for you to prepare the materials. And usually they don't have, like they usually give you the photocopied version of the teaching material. So it's like you don't expect some kind of a hardcover branded classroom book or something. So they usually give you the photocopy green books, which is quite, just flip through. But most importantly, I would always do the lesson planning before I would, for the following day, if I would be going and teaching the school. So a day, so I would be preparing my lesson plan. I would be preparing the slides, the activities, because as an English teacher here in Vietnam, as a foreign English teacher, it's very important to prepare your lessons properly. Don't like just go to the classroom and just open the book and ask some student, what am I supposed to teach today, and just read, only just do from the book. That's not the way it goes. To teach well, to provide quality education here in Vietnam, you have to plan out your lesson plans properly, create the activities and everything. So usually takes around, like, to prepare the lesson plans, it would be taking me around an hour or so, so that the class is engaged. Now normally when you come to these public schools, the students, like per each classroom, it's around 40 to 50 students. Some of the public schools, like where I taught in Thao Duc district, that was a modern public school. Like the rooms were properly air conditioned, and of course you have a computer, you have a projector, so you can connect your laptop, or you can just take a pen drive. If that school has a computer, you can take your pen drive. You don't need to take your laptop. But I always recommend, if you're going to teach a school, keep your laptop with you, in case if the computer is not working or something is wrong, right? Because you don't want to eat up your class timings, fixing technical issues and then calling someone, going out of the classroom, or the TA goes out to call somebody and everything, because that eats up a lot of class time, and basically like you're losing, like your precious valuable time of teaching in that classroom. So always be well prepared. Being an English teacher here in Vietnam is like a kind of a rush type lifestyle. So you wake up in the morning. So I would finish the first two classes, and then I would just I would be going to a close by coffee shop and just having a morning cafe da, which is equivalent to having a Americano drink. So yeah, just to start my day, and then of course head back to the school and take two more classes or whatever. Now, some public schools over here, they do provide you lunch. If you're an English teacher, they do provide you lunch, so take advantage of that. Or else, you can just go to Family Mart or Circle K or GS25 if it's close to your school. Just or if you have a motorbike or something, just go there, eat some snacks, or you can eat some food over there. I always recommend that if you're coming to Vietnam and if you're going to be teaching schools over here, take up an accommodation close by the school. So I'm talking about public schools, and it's also applicable if you're going to be teaching language centers. like take up an accommodation where you would be where you'll be spending most of the time teaching in that specific school. So try to take up an accommodation close by so that it cuts the travel time. And it's like it'll be a big plus point for you, right? So yeah, I mean, and also of course sometimes I had this I would teach one public school in the morning, and then like lunchtime I would come back to my home. I mean, I was staying in a hotel for 2 years out here in Vietnam, in a one-star hotel. That was the life of an English teacher back then. I don't know how it is right now, but I would come back, take a shower, eat some food, again, dress up, wear my uniform, like my teaching shirt. It's just like going to an office or something. Sometimes you got to wear a tie. Fortunately, the public schools which I taught, we didn't have to wear ties. So because that was a big plus point, because some of the public schools get so hot over here and they're not properly ventilated, you start sweating, like students can see, like you're sweating around, and the back of your shirt you're all sweaty. And the school actually takes note of this, and like the TA, she may be very nice and sweet, but she does also take note of this. And of course you have these class invigilators, these young guys, they walk around each classroom, and they just monitor how things are going or something, because they want to make sure that everything is okay, that the foreign teacher is not having any issues and the students are paying attention. But if you're teaching a public school, expect there to be a lot of noise in the classroom. Okay, don't expect everyone to be quiet, because like when I used to teach a classroom which had like 40 to 50 students, like maybe 20 or 25 students behind the classroom, they would be making noise, or they would be checking their eating food and all that. That's the kind of thing, but what I really like is when you enter the classroom as a foreign teacher, some of the students, they come and they clean up the board, they write something on the board like the attendance, or and of course, I always started my classroom with ESL activities, because that was my standard template of starting my English teaching. I would take 5 minutes doing ESL activities, doing some warm ups like hangman, word jumble, or something like that, and then hit straight to the lesson topics. I would start with the concept of the topic which I'm going to be teaching, like asking questions or whatever, and then I would hit the vocabulary. I would be drilling the students. So I would be like, I would be saying the vocabulary word a few times, and then I would ask the students to repeat after me. So yeah, I mean, I would be doing all that. And of course, doing a lot of group activities is highly recommended if you're teaching public schools. If you're only going to be teaching, don't expect them all to be listening to you. So you have to engage the students doing group activities. So like, so maybe you can divide the classes into team, like team A, team B, or you can name the teams. Most of the public schools over here, what I found out here was that like most of the students, they love doing these class activities, provided you give them some stars. Name the groups, like Team A, Captain America, or Wonder Woman, or whatever it is. Give some star points, engage them. And you have to be active as an English teacher during the class time. Okay, you cannot just stand in one position. You have to hover around the classroom. You got to make sure the students are understanding. Of course, what I found is that during the listening section, the students pay more attention. The class becomes quiet all of a sudden, right? So during the listening section, when you put the audio tracks and everything, they become very quiet, and you can play that 2 times, and then of course, as a teacher, I'll be walking around the classroom to check, if the students are not encountering any difficulties or whatsoever. So, love my morning coffee. So yeah, I mean, I think I would be finished. I mean, by the time I would finish, it would be around 4:30 in the evening. Or sometimes I may not have any afternoon class, so maybe I would finish around 2ish or 2:30 or something like that, or 3:30, and then just go home. Right. So yeah, normally tend to finish public schools. They end around 4:30. So then, of course, I go back and just take a nice shower, relax, and sometimes and yeah, I would be heading off to the gym. So you can go around 5, yeah, around 5 to 6. Like simple, I'm not talking about like simple gyms. You can join these normal gyms as low as $10 per month. And they're pretty, you have a lot of, yeah, and these are the simple gyms where, you can really do a lot of high intensity workout. You have a lot of weights and everything. I don't like to go to fancy gyms out here like California and fitness. I've never been there, but, and all those kind of fancy gyms. So you can join a gym as low as $10 out here in Vietnam. And it's very important to be physically, to exercise, right? I mean, if you're an English teacher, you have to have a very, you have to be mentally tough. You have to be to handle the class size and everything. And of course, the most important thing is to keep a good health, have a good healthy lifestyle and do your exercise or whatever it is. So just keep yourself very healthy, eat clean food. Like I know there were some expat teachers whom I used to see. They would be just smoking around. So I used to smoke before the first year when I came here to Vietnam as an English teacher, but I just felt that it's kind of not. It's just kind of damaging my health because I do understand the stress and everything. And of course, the first 6 months was very challenging for me as an English teacher out here teaching public schools because, I used to feel like why the students are not paying attention to me, or, I would just have that, that sad face, I would like feel kind of a bit depressed. And, over time you start getting adjusted. So if this is going to be your first English teaching job and if you've never taught before, so expect that kind of cycle to happen the first 6 months or the first few months. But just stick with your teaching. Prepare proper lessons. And most importantly is also have a good relationship with your TA. Like I know most of the teaching assistants, they sit behind, they just work on checking papers and all that. But just have a good relationship with them. I know they don't help usually a lot, but don't create any kind of altercations or situations with your TA, because at the end of the day, she's the one who actually reports about your teaching to the principal or whatever. So, and of course, like usually the public schools over here in Vietnam, they're properly monitored. You don't know, like, if there are some students in the classroom, like they take some, toilet breaks, but maybe they will be going to the vice principal's office and giving feedback about your teaching. That happens, all right? That actually happens. There are a few students in the classroom, especially in public schools, who kind of report your teaching styles to upper management. So don't be surprised with that. I mean, trust me, it does happen. So yeah, I mean, yeah. So the first, like, if you're going to be teaching over here, if this is going to be your first English teaching job here in Vietnam with public schools, it's going to be a bit challenging, especially not all the schools they have computers, projectors. So most of the time you would be having the chalk and the blackboard. If you're kind of a bit sensitive, if you have a bit of health issue, you can try to wear a mask. And because like if you're inhaling the chalk powder, it's not always good for your health. And like it can create some kind of long-term effects and all. I think the best option also as an English teacher over here would be invest in buying a microphone, right? You can go to Lazada over here, or you can go to any electronic shop, but you can go to Lazada as low as, I think, as low as 50,000, 60,000 Vietnam dong. You can invest in buying a microphone, or if you have a kind of a portable microphone, that may be a bit more pricey, but it's worth the investment. Because usually I would be buying like these microphones every week, and like these Chinese made, and I would put the jack. Usually, you see the blackboard, and below you have a socket. where you can jack up your microphone and you can start, using that. But that I started using like sec on my second year. The first year I would just be raising my voice and teaching a bunch of 50, 40 students in the classroom without using microphones and everything. Yes, Vietnamese teachers, they do use the microphones. They have it, they put it in their ears, and they don't talk a lot, but they do have very good writing skills. I love their writing skills. They write very beautifully, and like usually you would encounter a lot of these Vietnamese teachers, female Vietnamese teachers. They're wearing their traditional Vietnamese áo dai or áo dai dress, in the morning. Pretty. So the morning time usually starts with the national anthem. Like all the students, they go down. So I think it's after 7:30. I don't know, but it usually starts with the national anthem, and also before when the school ends, they do have together. They come to the main ground and they do the national anthem and everything. But that's all over there. So yeah, I mean, as an English teacher, it's very important to have a good rapport with your students. Like over time, you come to know about your students' names. The students, they will easily come to know about who you are. They usually ask you the first day, if you're teaching a class, they'll be asking you, what's your name? Where are you from, teacher? So, I know I'm from India, but I would be jokingly telling them I'm from Asia, whatever. And what I used to love teaching, what I used to love doing, when I would teach public schools is that, like before the class ends, I would be kind of showing them a short 2-minute video about something like a takeaway or a public awareness, like how to keep the country clean, or, how to be nice to elders, or something kind of, like a kind of a little bit of public awareness, so that the students, they can take it, they can, they feel good about it, and they can create this kind of awareness. And of course, in between my classes, I would be showing them short videos. Like you can download it from YouTube. They're like, you can nowadays you can download TikTok videos, YouTube videos. Just go on Google and type download YouTube videos, and so you can do that, download it, and just make sure to have your files right. So I would be teaching like grade 10, grade 11, and of course you have the primary level also. So you have to be, so over time you get to know which classroom you need to go. If you're only focusing on teaching that public school, but chances are you'll have to teach also different public schools around the city. So sometimes I would be doing a lot of substitute teaching. So I would also do kindergarten teaching, and it's kind of usually the students in the kindergarten, they are like, they're very well behaved, and they have the nannies who take care of them, and of course you teach them numbers and alphabets and everything. So yeah, I mean, so I'm going to keep that checklist, and yeah, I mean, I don't mind getting back to teaching out here in Vietnam. So yeah, I mean, if you want me to do some substitute teaching, if you want me to do some part-time teaching, you can get in touch with me. All right. I'm going to also keep a email of my. I'm going to keep a link of. I'm also going to keep my teaching Gmail down in the description below. I mean, once you're a teacher, you always want to be teaching around. I mean, teaching is something which I can never let go. A good teacher always provides value. I never taught schools for the sake of money. Yes, of course, that is also a driving factor. Like the salary ranges anywhere between like $1,200. It can go up to $1,500, or even can go up to $2,000 if you're teaching public schools. Private centers could be a bit different. Like if you're teaching top-notch private centers, they do also have affiliation with public schools, so the salary level can also go up like 2,000 to 2,500 US and everything. But the passion for teaching, like solid 2 years of teaching, which I did over here, and then of course I start over time. You start feeling, so once you're teaching public schools, then you may feel like I need some more extra income, so maybe you can also teach part-time. You can take up part-time English teaching with language centers during the evening hours if you want to make some extra money, because I know, like, I did that before. And a couple of my expat friends, they also, fellow teachers, they also did that to make some extra money. So do that wisely. I would suggest, like, the first year, just focus on your main school, and just get the experience. Of course, cultural differences are there. You'll get to know more about the school, you'll get to know. And of course, you'll be spending most of the time in the teaching, in the teacher's room. Like, oh, you can work on your laptop, because that kind of gets a bit boring. I mean, usually you have the Vietnamese teachers, they come in the teacher room, they get very tired. And of course, after lunchtime, most of the Vietnamese out here, they like to take a nap for a half an hour or whatever. Some schools, they do have sleeping rooms, so you can take advantage of that. Yeah, so that's all I wanted to say. So I'm going to keep a checklist of that down in the description below. I think it's going to be very handy. And also, just a quick one is, it's also a good option to take advantage of certain packages. Like, I know, like, if you're going to Vietnam teaching jobs, it's free to join, but they do also have that $20 package or something where they do the resume for you and whatever. It's worth the investment, I think. I mean, I haven't done that, but I think it's worth the investment, because that kind of puts your profile on top of the list, and your chances of getting an English teaching job in Vietnam would be much better compared to other applicants. Um, I never used Facebook groups, but you can use, like, Facebook groups, if you want to pick up some substitute teaching and all that. Just get in touch directly with the person who has posted something regarding substitute teaching and everything. But yeah, so that's all I have to say. I mean, let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. And, like, are you an English teacher? Are you an expat English teacher over here in Vietnam? Are you a native or a non-native teacher? What is your teaching experience like, has been so far here in public schools? I would love to hear from you. What are your challenges? Are you facing any challenges? What are your long-term goal plans and everything? So let me know about it. I mean, I would love to hear from a fellow teacher. So yeah, so share your thoughts. I'm going to keep a checklist of that checklist document down in the description below later today, so you can download that, and that's going to be very handy for you. Yeah, if you like watching this video, make sure to like this video. If you found this video to be informational, you can always buy me a coffee. The link is down in the description below. And if you're traveling around in Southeast Asia, and if you want to start a passive income online business, like today, I woke up in the morning, I just saw $500 in my account. And that happens kind of frequently. So if you want to have that kind of a lifestyle, you can check the link down in the description below, because that's going to really help you a lot sustain yourself financially when you're traveling around here in Vietnam or the rest of Southeast Asia. So with that being said, you guys have a great day. This is me, Joy. Peace out.